Notification. Oh, it looks like it just went up, Joe.
Yep.
It did. It did.
I've retweeted it.
I have also retweeted it, which means we're live.
How do you not say we're live and not think about Bill O'Reilly? Bill O'Reilly.
We'll do it live.
Every time you say it.
One of these days, when we get like, I don't know, how many live viewers you want to say before we drop F it, we'll do it live.
1,000
live viewers.
Yeah. Oh, Mitch Doherty, my guy.
Oh,
his alarm was set for 8:00.
This is the big development as Joe has realized. How many of these live shows have we done now?
Probably 4
or
5.
5. This is number 5. You've realized where the comments are. So now you can read the comments as they come in.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm brave enough to try to dabble and move them onto the screen, but at least I can see them.
You just click it. All you do is click it.
I'm going to take J-Rods and see if I can do it.
We haven't even started the show yet.
No, I don't have that kind of control on mine.
Oh, you don't have the...
no, I can't do it.
The administrative powers that be.
No.
I hate to see it.
Yeah. All right. Ready to do this thing?
Yeah, let's do a live show here.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes here on the Draft Dudes podcast presented by Locked On. It's Joe Marino and Kyle Krabs from the Draft Network, and we are your hosts here on this live Takes on Takes episode of the show. It's our Tuesday show in the podcast feed, our live Monday night podcast, 8:00 on all kinds of social media platforms. Kyle, both of our wives are in the chat. This is not good.
Yeah, you shouldn't have announced that. That's going to be a problem.
Now I see the chat, and so that is just generally a problem.
Yeah, they're going to sit here and talk back and forth.
Yeah.
Probably just talk trash on us like they usually do.
No, they would only say wonderful things about their wonderful husbands. All right, so it's live Takes on Takes. We need you to give us your hottest takes. We're going to react to them here on this podcast. Although I can now see comments, I don't know how to control them, so I'll continue to be at the mercy of what Kyle feeds to us.
Well, the first one we got was from how do you say this?
I don't know. ATH 20088.
There you go. Okay. And his take was that the Buccaneers will have the highest paid wide receiver duo in 2021. And that's obviously insinuating that Chris Godwin's going to get the contract extension, and obviously Mike Evans already under contract there for the Buccaneers for 2021. My question is right now, who owns that title?
I got it. It's the Eagles, $41.3 million.
For Deshaun and Alshon.
For 2021, by the way, not 2020, 2021.
Right.
The Browns are number 2. The Bills are number 3. Saints at number 4. Falcons 5. Cowboys 6. Dolphins 7. Dolphins 7. Who are they paying in 2021?
It's for wide receivers?
Yeah, $27 million. That's
for 2 guys?
Oh, it's not the top 2. It's the entire room.
Oh. Well, this is the top duo.
Oh, yeah, I don't have those numbers.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, I mean...
are you going to bring back Chris Godwin? Genuine question. With their cap situation?
Yeah, I think they have to. I think they have to identify him as a key piece of that offense that Brady's going to need. If they have a 2-year window with Brady, I'm not going to try to find him a new number 2 receiver in one offseason. We're all in.
Yeah, but now you're giving up so much on the defensive side of the football to keep Chris Godwin. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't necessarily believe in it one way or the other, Joe. But if we sorted salary cap space in 2021, and this was as of I guess last weekend, the Buccaneers $14 million in cap space. And we know some of the guys that are coming up. I mean, that's probably not enough by itself to get you Chris Godwin. So you got to start reshuffling.
Yeah, they've got Barrett and they've got Sue and some guys to deal with, man.
Okay. Next take. Hot take from Tone Lantern. Washington will get the number 1 pick. You know, Joe, because we already have this bet established and in place, that I think Washington wins more football games than the Giants this year. I'm selling this take. What about you?
Oh, I'm selling for sure. I think that Jacksonville, Carolina,
New York Jets.
I think over Washington for that top pick. I mean, Washington has some redeeming qualities with its defensive front seven. And I like Scott Turner, and I like the way that offense is QB friendly. And I think that Haskins can do enough there for them to win 4 or 5 games.
Okay. Very good. You see any here that you want?
How about that one from Tone Lantern?
Oh, this one here.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers don't make the playoffs this year.
Well,
so
if anyone listened to yesterday's show, they know that we're picking the Buccaneers to go to the Super Bowl from the NFC. What's interesting though here is what is that path? What is the path for the Buccaneers to not make the playoffs look like? Tom's cooked. The right side of that offensive line with Kappa and Wirfs doesn't get up to speed. They regress on defense.
Yeah, it's like Atlanta bounces back, stays healthy for the full year, wins 10 games, edges out Tampa, and then, they're an 8-8, 9-7 team that just happens to miss the playoffs in a numbers scheme.
Right, assuming injuries aside, because I see some of the comments coming in about injuries.
Sure.
Well, yeah, we can't predict that, but okay.
Let's see. How are you? Take the Saints sold their soul in 2009 to win a Super Bowl. Their recent playoff shortcomings are their punishment, specifically the Vikings.
I mean, it's not like shortcomings. Like they've had heartbreaking things happen to them 3 years in a row.
Right. Which it's football don't lie, right? Football gods.
What did they do to sell their soul in 2009 is my question. Like what happened there that
Did you know this team started the year 13-0, lost their final 3 games, and then ran the table in the playoffs?
Yeah.
I didn't realize they started 13-0. Now, I think what they're referencing for the redemption or the cruel twist of fate was this Minnesota got eked out in the playoffs by New Orleans in the NFC Championship game. I think that was Brett Favre was there, right?
For who? Minnesota?
09. Yeah. 09 Vikings. Wasn't Brett Favre there?
I don't remember exactly what
you're going to make me. It's 09, the year the Saints won the Super Bowl. Yes. Brett Favre was there. So here's the thing about that game. And this is why Vikings fans, especially, I think take a lot of joy in the Saints struggles, especially when it's at Minnesota's hands. The Vikings that year were awesome. New Orleans won the NFC Championship game in overtime, 31-28, and the Saints had 257 yards of offense. Joe, the Vikings had 475 yards of offense, but 5 turnovers and lost the game in overtime.
It was vintage Favre.
It was vintage Favre. So
it's a good comment there. It's because of Bountygate was that year. So that was what they did. Yeah. Okay. All right. Maybe they've got something there. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm buying. Now, Vontel, he's here with, I guess it's kind of a hypothetical, right? Vontel is one of our most loyal listeners. I always love getting his hypotheticals every week on Takes on Takes. He said, which is more likely, Kyle playing wide receiver and getting open against Stephon Gilmore in less than 3 seconds with no pick to help, or Joe pass blocking Joey Bosa for more than 3 seconds without help?
It's you getting open versus Gilmore, man.
3 seconds is a long time for a route, right?
Yeah, I'm not keeping Joey Bosa at bay for 3 seconds. There's not a damn chance. He's going to be by me in a second and a half tops.
You know what my strategy is? I'm going to try and clip toes with him and trip him.
What is Joey Bosa's 10-yard split?
Probably a 1.61.
1.68. 1.68.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well,
he'll be by me.
I was going to say you're not going to provide him any resistance at all. So
I won't touch him. I did have a good pass block rep on John Owning one time in a hotel hallway that we've thrown some moves together.
That was fun. Oh, you're going to get triggered on this one from OG Willikin. Titans made the right decision trading Casey. Now they can extend to Dory Jackson, Jayon Brown, and Janu Smith.
Oh. There's no – okay, so let's look at Jarrell Casey. He signed a 4-year, $60.4 million deal. They got him off the books. Now, there was no chance to get rid of him this offseason. Next offseason, he could be cut for a savings of about $6 million, and he has no dead money in 2021 and 2022.
Yeah, no, math doesn't add up there. Because you don't have to sign any of these guys to extensions now. You could wait till next offseason, cut Casey after next season, save the cap.
Right.
And you're going to have the same amount of savings.
But most importantly, you get Jarrell Casey for this year.
Oh, my goodness, Joe, we know.
Now I got the Titans are one of my teams that I'm doing like deep studies on, and it's a reminder all the time for me.
It's you're constantly triggered by it, right?
And Daquan Jones is like a free agent coming up. Like, I don't get it.
Oh, here you go. From M. Webb. This is a YouTube comment. I love seeing the YouTube comments and the Facebook comments. We're so used to, Joe, we built so much of our brand on Twitter and Periscope, right? Yeah. So to see the people tuning in on Facebook and YouTube, the Draft Network, it's quite easy to find. The Hawks have the best roster in the NFC West, and he's going to make his case, okay? Top 2 quarterback in the NFL, top 5 wide receiver duo with DK and Tyler Lockett, strong running back room with Carson, Penny, Hyde, Olsen, and Disley at tight end, Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams better than any Niner, and QB is still Jimmy. Enough said.
Okay, so Seattle has a bottom tier offensive line and a defensive line, in my view. I don't like the makeup of their secondary. I know everyone's all excited about this group, especially
their secondary is going to be fine.
It's not a top tier secondary.
Doesn't have to be. You got Jamal Adams.
The Jets had Jamal Adams last year. What was their secondary? Not good. Doesn't mean just because you have Jamal Adams.
The Seattle system, Joe.
Behind this defensive line, Bruce Irvin, LJ Collier, Jerron Reed, and Poona Ford.
Griffin is a better corner than any corner that was on the Jets roster.
That's not the question. This is if it's the best record and best roster in the NFC West.
Is it better than the Rams?
Yes.
Yes. Is it better than the Cardinals?
Yes.
Yes. Is it better than the 49ers? Okay, so let's go Joe, we're literally doing this for the preseason guides. We're in the maze together. We got to find the cheese, okay? So you and me, we're going to work through this right now. Who is a better quarterback between Seattle and San Francisco?
Seattle.
Okay. Who has better offensive skill players, Seattle or San Francisco? Seattle.
You said skill player. That's a lot to lump into that group. Because Kittle's
the best player.
Right.
But you don't have Manny Sanders anymore. Who just got hurt? Somebody got hurt for them.
Debo. He's always hurt.
Debo. Okay, so Debo's hurt. Seahawks comfortably have better backs. Tyler Lockett's the next best skill player. I think Seattle's got better depth to their skill players than San Francisco does.
San Francisco has a better offensive line.
That's not the question right now. I'm talking skill players.
Okay, I'm conceding skill players.
Okay, 2-0. Both lines and trenches go to San Francisco. No questions asked.
Linebackers?
San Francisco. Defensive backs.
What, Tartan Ward's a good safety tandem.
It's not Jamal Adams, though.
Jamal Adams is a good tackler. I mean, he's not a...
I think you could say if you gave the secondary in its entirety to Seattle, you'd say it's 3-3, better quarterback gets the tie, Seattle gets it.
Fine.
Okay. Oh, here you go. YP Nate Pitts take Chase Young will have a better career than Jadeveon Clowney.
All the way in.
All the way in.
All the way on in this take.
Now, tell me more about that.
Well, okay, so obviously I scouted both players. I think Chase Young is a much more nuanced football player coming out of college.
Yes.
I think he's a more refined pass rusher. I think they're similar caliber athletes. And Clowney had like extensive injury problems going into the league, and like it was a problem. His injuries are just bad in general. And Chase Young has a clean slate. I think Chase Young is a more complete, refined football player with less injury problems. Give me Chase Young all day long.
Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't you like to know what he would have tested at? Wouldn't that have
I
been
would have
great?
liked to know. Yeah, I would.
Yeah. When we'd be lying to say we're not sitting here
Yeah.
wondering what Chase Young runs and jumps.
I want to know. Right.
But we'll never know. Let's see. Here's a hot one from Cam. TJ Hawkinson is a top 3 tight end by year's end after Travis Kelce and George Kittle. I think I'm out on this take.
That's a big jump. I mean, Hawkinson was pretty quiet. He blew it up in week 1 with tons of production.
Yeah.
He finished with 367 yards, 32 receptions, 12 games. He missed some time. And obviously Stafford being out probably wasn't helpful.
Correct.
Can he be a top 3 tight end in the league? Yeah, I think he has that type of ceiling. We both love Hawk.
He ain't going to be better than Mark Andrews this year.
I'm saying eventually. He has the type of ceiling. Yeah, I'm not saying this year, but eventually he does.
All right, I'm going to go through some tight ends. You tell me whether you'd rather you think Hawk will be better than this tight end at the end of the year. Okay?
I don't believe that he's going to be a top 3 tight end.
I'm not asking if he's top 3.
Right.
I'm just trying to get the body count that's in front of him.
Okay.
So George Kittle.
No.
Okay. Travis Kelce.
No.
Mark Andrews.
No.
Okay. Zach Ertz.
No.
Okay. So that's 4. Let's see. Gronk.
No.
5. Okay.
Darren Waller. No.
Darren Waller. 6.
Mike Gesicki. No.
Oh, I was going to work down to Gesicki, but I thought you'd give that one some consideration. How about Austin Hooper?
No. Volume's going to be there.
Njoku.
Yeah, he'll be better than Njoku.
How about Evan Ingram?
I don't know if Ingram's going to be healthy. He's giving me no evidence to believe he's going to be healthy. Right.
But he's super good when he's healthy.
Right.
Who am I forgetting?
Jimmy Graham.
No, Noah Fant.
Fant was the most productive rookie tight end last year.
He was.
By a good bit.
Yeah,
and Dawson Knox was number 2.
He was very good last year.
So, no, I think Fant will be more productive.
Okay, so he's going to be a fringe top 10 tight end is what it sounds like what we're feeling.
Yeah, but again, the ceiling of a top 5 eventually, yeah.
Okay. M. Webb did not appreciate the Seattle linebacker slander. Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, and Jordan Brooks.
Fred Warner, Jordan Hicks, the kid from Arkansas. Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah, Greenlaw had a great year last year. Bobby Wagner's
Jordan Hicks, I was wrong about that. It was meant to say Quan Alexander.
KJ Wright is getting up there and slowing down, and Jordan Brooks has proven nothing. And Bobby Wagner probably gets an edge over Fred Warner head-to-head, but Fred Warner's right on his heels as far as being an all-around 3-down NFL linebacker. And I think that the depth in San Francisco is better at this point than what Seattle has. But I still made the case for Seattle. So I'm not the bad guy here. Hot take, Daniel Jones will have a more successful career than Kyler Murray.
Did you go first on that one?
You don't want to touch that one, right? I don't know. What barometers are we using to measure successful career?
Dude, I had Kyler as a better prospect than Daniel Jones, and I have no reason to change that.
So did I. But I need to know what criteria we are using to define successful. I think Daniel Jones will be based on the way he played last year, will probably be a 10-plus year starter in the NFL.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for longevity, and maybe Kyler needs to watch the sacks and watch some of the hits. And he got selective as far as, getting down and not taking big hits. But with his size and stature, it's always kind of going to be there a little bit that you just got to be mindful of it. I think Kyler has a much higher ceiling. I think he's got a better arm. I think he's a better athlete. I think everything is there for Kyler to have the better career. And if you're going to take Daniel Jones, you're probably doing so based on longevity. Any takes here you see that you like? No, he shook his head. If you're not watching live, he's
they move fast, man. It's hard to keep up with the conversation
it's
as
impossible.
well as. Yeah, that's why I'm glad you're doing it.
All Douglas says O.J. Howard has the worst hands in the Bucs tight end room.
That's
what
not
an awesome tight end room they have, though.
Right. It's like, that's like not much of a dig, right? I mean, like Brate and Gronk are the other guys in that room.
I'll tell you what. I'm not gonna say anything bad about O.J. Howard because I've stood next to that man, and I know what it feels like to feel like the smallest man on the face of the planet standing next to O.J. Howard.
O.J. Howard has dropped. He dropped one pass as a rookie. He dropped 5 last year. His drop rate last year was 9.4%.
Oh, we got some spicy takes here. You ready?
Okay.
I got 2 good ones. First one comes from J-Rod. You see this one yet?
About the fastest receivers?
Yes. Panthers have the fastest wide receiver corps in the NFL with DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Curtis Samuel.
Chiefs, man. Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, and Sammy Watkins.
What about Sammy now? What does Sammy run now? Not what he ran when he came out.
He runs 4.53, I'd guess. But what's like Tyreek's 4.2s, Mecole's low 4.3s.
Right. And like DJ, Robbie, and Curtis, these are all like high 4.3s to mid 4.4s?
Well, I mean, Samuel was a 4.3 guy. DJ Moore was a low 4.4. Robbie Anderson, I don't know what he ran.
He was fast.
Let me see if I can pull that up. Robbie Anderson 40 time. 4.36. Yeah, he's a cooker. So, yeah, you know what? I mean,
it's interesting.
Sammy might ruin it.
Sammy. How about the one below it regarding the Washington football team?
Man.
Alex Smith will start more games than Dwayne Haskins for Washington in 2020. The ultimate wild card on the bet.
It really is. And I mean, Ron said that if Alex Smith is healthy, he's part of the competition. I mean, if you want to stabilize things, that's hard to say, man. Like, he's not played ball in a while. And I have so much respect for what he's done to get back. I mean, like, I think it's not just like physically being back. There's probably a mental side to that, right?
Right. Sure.
That I certainly can't even begin to imagine what that's like.
I wouldn't doubt him because I watched the documentary.
No. Right.
If this happens, kind of makes your quarterback decision for you, doesn't it? If Dwayne can't beat out Alex Smith coming back from the injury that he had and how long away he's been from the game, probably tells you probably need to get back into the quarterback market, right?
Yeah.
It's not a glowing endorsement if it happens.
Agreed.
Ian thinks Hollywood Brown will be a top 5 receiver in the NFL for touchdowns this season.
Do you think that receiving touchdowns are a little bit random for receivers?
Yeah, to some degree.
That's why I have a hard time with it. Like, because I can say, yeah, sure. I mean, I can see it happening, but I mean, it's also like I could take the field and I'd probably be right.
Yeah, I'd take the field.
But
I would say this. If you wanted to say he is going to be in the top 5 in like 40 or 50 yard plus touchdowns, I'm taking that all day long because of the style of play there that they have and his vertical receiving ability. But just raw touchdown receptions, like you said, is kind of like there is a little bit of randomization to it.
Hollywood's going to be exciting because his foot's going to be right this year too, right? Like, imagine what was on his plate last year, and like people said, he was playing basically on one foot. I mean, that guy is super dynamic. We got it. Yeah. We went to the West Virginia Oklahoma game, man. We saw that speed like in person, and it's definitely different.
Take from ATH 2088. He's brought some good ones tonight. One of Justin Fields or Trey Lance will return to school after no football and 1 year of film.
I'm selling.
I'm selling.
We had a good discussion about this in our scouting meeting end of last week.
Yeah.
And we just kind of came to this understanding that, especially for Lance, like, you can't hurt yourself by coming out. You can hurt yourself by playing and not playing well.
Right. But what you've put on display, teams have already proven they're not going to be scared of a guy with 1 year starting resume. If they think you've got the traits, they're going to bet on you. You know, how many guys have we seen with very small sample sizes of being starters? Trubisky is the most recent example. He's a bad example because he's not even the most recent example. Kyler started for 1 year.
Yep. That's all it takes, man.
So if you've got next level tools and your most recent film is good, I don't think the layoff is going to hurt him.
Those guys were like week 1, day 1 starters. Like they didn't even play Trubisky in preseason.
Right.
And Kyler started for Cliff year 1. I think Trey
Right.
Lance isn't starting week 1 next year in the NFL.
Drew Blake says Haskins started 1 year as well. Another great example. So the list is pretty substantial of 1 year starters who have made the jump. So
This isn't Bill Parcells' criteria for drafting a quarterback anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Not with the
sir.
modern tendencies and the spread and no. Get a couple more. Let's see. A little Frank Gore slander. I'm here for it.
Man,
Frank Gore. We talk about Frank Gore every other week on the show.
Right.
Frank Gore isn't a top 20 running back all time. Never been top 5 in his career.
We are Frank Gore fans. Like, we believe in him as one of the best running backs of all time. We've been through this before. Like, I don't even understand this thought that I know that it's volume plays into it, but this guy has been a consistent feature back in the NFL for longer than really anyone else ever has.
Hold on. Keep entertaining the people. I'm going to pull some strings here real quick.
With Frank?
Yeah, I'm going to do some research real quick.
The fastest research you ever had.
Oh, man, it's a lot of pressure, I know. But look at
somebody said that the Bears would have won a Super Bowl if I was their kicker. Thank you. I kicked for 1 year in high school. So I don't know that would be true, to be honest with you. The Titans were 8 of 18 on field goals last year. They got to the AFC Championship.
I'm sorry, they were what?
8 of 18 on field goals last year.
They were 8 of 18.
They went through 5 kickers. The guy that they're rolling with next year, he was the kicker for the last 5 games. They let him kick 1 field goal, a 30-yarder against the Chiefs in the opening drive of the AFC Championship game. 8 of 18, 5 kickers. Do you have your Frank Gore information?
I'm really close. 6, 7,
Kyle's really
9,
close.
10, 11, 12, 7. Okay. I'm looking up most yards from scrimmage in years 2 through 7 of any player's career in the history of football.
Okay. And what does that tell us? What conclusions does that get us to as you navigate profootballreference.com?
Okay.
Yeah.
So from 1920 to 2019, players' second season to 7th season. Okay. Most yards from scrimmage of all time, rushing and receiving yards. Okay. Frank Gore, over those 5 years, had 9,283 yards from scrimmage. Okay. You with me so far?
I'm with you.
Who do you think the most all-time in that 5-year stretch is, from years 2 through 6, end of year 6 in their career?
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders is 7th on the list with 10,600.
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton is 5th with 10,886.
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown is 9th with 10,156. He is the last player with over 10,000.
Thurman Thomas.
Thurman Thomas is 3rd with 11,037. Keep going. I mean, we turn it into trivia night.
Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk is 4th with 10,938.
So I'm all over this thing except for I can't get the top 2. Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson is 8th with 10,203. So you have gotten everyone besides the top 2 that have gone for over 10,000 in years 2 through 7.
Roger Craig.
What a wild guess. He's 15th with 9,714.
Eric Dickerson.
Dickerson is, I'm sorry, he's 6th. So he was the last one outside the top 2 that you were missing. 10,647.
LT
is first.
Thank you, God.
12,000 yards. 12,000.
And Emmitt Smith, is that the other one?
And Emmitt Smith is 11,195.
So in a roundabout way, I got the top 10 in like 11 guesses. You
did. Yeah. So some of the names, Frank Gore's 21st on this list with 9,283 yards from scrimmage. That's better than Tony Dorsett, who's a Hall of Famer, O.J. Simpson, who's a Hall of Famer, Earl Campbell, who's a Hall of Famer, Jerome Bettis, who's a Hall of Famer.
Jerome Bettis is a Hall of Famer.
I mean, yeah, well, it's better than Clinton Portis, Priest Holmes, Brian Westbrook, Jamal
Do you feel
Charles.
like this was very convincing, Kyle?
Herschel Walker.
Did this lead to the conclusion you were hoping for?
I gave you a bunch of examples of guys who were Hall of Famers who he had better yards from scrimmage from. In the history of the NFL, only 20 players have had more yards from scrimmage in years 2 through 6.
I'm not sure the Frank Gore haters are impressed.
Jim Brown did over 10,000 in 78 games.
Yeah.
LT did 12,000 in 95.
Yeah, another season, right?
Right.
Can we give some love to Halil's Real Football Talk? He has one for us. He's not in here, but he sent me one before the show.
Oh, yeah, sure. If he gave one ahead of time.
This is super spicy. He said J.K. Dobbins will lead the Ravens in rushing as a rookie.
No.
Will he be in the top 3?
He'll be 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, Ingram and Lamar, right?
Yeah.
And then you still kind of have like Justice Hill. You have Gus Edwards.
Yeah. No, JK's really good, but like, no, I'm selling that real hard.
I thought it was aggressive. I wanted to bring it up.
Seabass. Megatron is the best wide receiver of the last decade.
Antonio Brown is the best receiver of the last decade.
Yeah, before he kind of went sideways, his 6-year stretch or whatever it was is like insane.
Best ever.
Okay, this is what we're going to end the show on. Takes are done. I'm shutting it down. Best quarterback you've seen in the 2010s is who?
Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers.
To me, it's Tom.
Yeah, just because he whooped your ass for a decade.
He whooped everybody's ass for a decade.
You beat him once in 10 years.
I didn't play him at all.
You had to play him twice a year.
I didn't play Tom Brady at all. Let's start there.
Rodgers is had more iPod, like even Tom's peak. Tom's peak was before 2010. As far as like his 5,000 yard season was in 2007.
He passed for 5,200 yards in 2011.
Okay, well, his best year was 2007.
You think so? Because 50 touchdowns?
Yeah, 50 touchdowns.
I don't know. It's Tom for me.
Would you give any consideration to Mahomes?
No, he's not played long. He's played 2 seasons as a starter.
I'm just questioning. Okay, How about running back?
Of the
best
2010s?
running back of the 2010s. AP?
Yeah, I mean, that's a dude you didn't want to play.
No.
Right? Like, just damn it. Like, you just know that your defense is going to get their ass kicked.
And, like, how many times were you like, oh, that's it for AP. He's falling off the cliff. And then he came back the next year, like, he led the league in rushing, like, the 1 year.
Is Adrian Peterson who we want Frank Gore to be?
No. Stop it. Okay, we've already said Antonio Brown.
Wait, 2000. This is a bad answer. Adrian Peterson is a bad answer.
Why?
He had 4 1,000-yard seasons in the decade. He had one season of 75 yards, another of 72 yards.
Okay, and another those years.
Yeah, I know, but that hurts him. I mean, it's hard to appreciate Adrian Peterson within just that 2010 because you lose his first 3 seasons, which were, I mean, freaking unbelievable.
Okay, now
in his first 3 seasons, he had 4,484 rushing yards.
Okay, now tell me about the year in the 2010s he led the league in rushing.
He did it twice. 2,097 yards and 4,285.
2,097 yards, and you want to turn your nose up because he got hurt 2 years.
I'm just saying, I wish that he
Get
didn't
the
have the
hell
2
outta
hurt
here.
years. I wish he didn't have the 2 hurt years, and we can include those first 3.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts,
You say that a lot.
we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Best tight end you've seen.
Gronk.
Yeah.
The most ridiculous player to ever have to, defend. Gronk.
It's because he was rigged, right? It's like you'd be right on him. Doesn't matter. He'd bump you off. You try and tackle him in the open field. He's a terrible safety, though.
I can only watch Rex Ryan ask Nickel Roby Coleman to guard Rob Gronkowski so many times in my life,
Oh, man. Do we want to do offensive linemen today, and then we'll leave the defense for another day?
Of the decade?
Yeah.
The best offensive lineman of the 2010s?
Mm-hmm.
Yanda?
And most consistent.
Might be Yanda, man. What
about some of
Joe
these
Thomas?
tackles, man? Yeah,
Joe
Joe Thomas is a good answer. What about Tyron Smith?
I think those other 2 are better answers.
What about Jason Peters?
Yeah. Yeah.
He was awesome.
Those are guys that are in the mix.
Oh, get out of here, Nate. He said an Ali Marpet.
Yeah.
And now we got an Andrew Thomas. That's how you know it's time to shut it down. Guys are out of control. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Draft Dudes Takes on Takes Live, episode 103. It's pretty crazy to think we've done this many, Joe, but we've only just begun. What's that movie's that from?
No idea.
Oh, it's Happy Gilmore when he goes to Happy Place.
Yeah,
and
you've
Chubbs is
seen
playing the piano.
You understand all these movies. I've seen them one time in my life, where you've seen them dozens of times. It's got to be.
No, I've probably seen Happy Gilmore 4 or 5 times.
Okay, well, I saw it the first time I ever saw it, and then that was it. Never again.
You should try watching it again. It's a great movie. Kyle Krabs, Joe Marino. Thanks as always for listening, Draft Dudes. We'll be back to talk with you guys again on Wednesday.